For the past couple of days, I've had my nose to the grindstone, working hard to get that God-rolled Jurassic Green pulse rifle, and I've been really close several times. I've got like a solid 4 out of 5 roll. I got the rangefinder, I got the ricochet rounds, I got the corkscrew rifling, I got the stability masterwork, but I got Dragonfly in the second column, which is not multi-kill clip, but it is kind of fun to watch people blow up. So I've been using that one as I'm still working at getting the God roll, but I didn't expect to get a new Braytech Werewolf that piqued my curiosity. I didn't expect to take that werewolf for a stroll, fall in love with it, and then proceed to rack up over 400 kills with it in under 24 hours, shut down 30 supers, and go on some massive kill streaks. And so here we are today, highlighting the Braytech Werewolf Legendary Auto Rifle from the Festival of the Lost in Destiny 2. This is one of those weird cases where the weapon didn't get any better. It's still the same weapon with the same, well, with most of the same perks in the pool as last year. And last year, this gun was pretty decent, but it struggled to compete in the meta that we found ourselves in when it dropped. You gotta remember, people were hung up on the Summoner and the Gnawing Hunger back then. If an auto rifle wasn't a 600 RPM adaptive frame, then it was seen as garbage back then. Sometimes great guns slip through the cracks just because of the landscape they're released in. But when the Werewolf dropped, people weren't interested in using something overshadowed by the effectiveness of a competing archetype. But we're in a totally different landscape now. Shotgunners, they gotta get closer to you. 140 hand cannons are much more popular, but they're also unforgiving, since you have to hit all headshots to reach that optimal TTK. And 600 autos have been slightly nerfed. So the precision frame auto rifle may be the same, but its biggest competitors are also a little bit worse. So let's quickly chat about my roll, and then we'll talk a bit about the weapon and its perk pool. The roll you're seeing in this video is Under Pressure and Vorpal. It has ricochet rounds for additional stability, corkscrew rifling for more range, stability, and handling, and a stability masterwork. The result is an auto rifle with a nearly perfect vertical recoil direction. The severity of that recoil is really not that bad at all, with the stability value resting at a comfortable 69. Nice. But perhaps one of the best intrinsic features to precision frame autos is the massive reach that they have. With little to no range boosters on this roll, mine sits at an exceptional 81 range. You'll notice just how far out I'm willing to take some duels in this video. This auto rifle, it really isn't afraid to stand in a lane with a pulse rifle. A few things to note about my roll specifically. With Under Pressure on this thing, you'll notice I often don't reload after a kill. With a 34 round magazine and only needing 7 bullets to kill a target sometimes, I'd rather just keep the mag where it's at after a kill. And then in my next duel, I'm looking at having a huge buff to my stability and my accuracy / aim assist. That's one of the built-in drawbacks to the precision frame autos. They have big range, but far less aim assist and a much more punishing accuracy cone than any other auto rifle archetype. But Under Pressure is going to work in direct contradiction to that weakness and offset it easily once your mag gets lower. And there is an audio cue that will let you know when Under Pressure is up and running. Fusion riflers, you probably already know that sound pretty well. Additionally, my roll has Vorpal. Let me tell you, this perk makes dealing with supers actually really fun. Like, you hear a roaming super pop on the map somewhere and you're like, where is he? Where is he? I can help with that. I found myself saying, oh, I can do that. I can help. So it's actually a lot of fun. As I noted before, you're going to see a lot of super shutdowns in this video. We dunk on a lot of them. Typically, you're going to be doing single-digit numbers, damage numbers per hit with an auto rifle against a roaming super. But this thing will do 22 to the head on a roaming super. That's bonkers. You can shred them in basically 1 second flat. But consider a golden gun. Goldie doesn't actually get any damage resistance. So that means that Vorpal's actually going to do more damage to a golden gun than you do to a Guardian who isn't in their super. You're going to be doing 33 to the head. In other words, it's like you get high energy fire for free against a golden gun. And we shut some of those down in this video too. You're looking at a 0.6 second TTK against a gunslinger. I mean, it's no joke. Okay, let's chat about 450 autos. These things have a 0.8 second optimal TTK, which isn't great, but it isn't terrible. But one thing that you do have to remember is that many weapons require absolute perfect precision in order to reach their optimal TTK, but auto rifles, they do not have a strict skill barrier. Just about anyone can hold the trigger down on an auto rifle and reach the optimal TTK or close to it when you catch an opponent out of cover. Auto rifles are respectively easy to use when compared to other primary types in the game. Deep magazines let you deal with multiple targets as well before reloading. You think of something like a Last Word, while it may shred opponents in a 1v1 duel, the problem is if there's two guys, you're kind of screwed because you really can't take on more than one person at a time with a Last Word consistently. So while the optimal TTK is outclassed by some other weapons, reaching that TTK does not mean that you have to be a surgeon with the gun. That's the good news. Most folks can get that optimal TTK or close to it with no issues. So let's take a brief look at the perk pool on the Werewolf. In the first column, you've got Dynamic Sway Reduction, Mulligan, Fourth Time's a Charm, Slide Shot, Underdog, and Under Pressure. Dynamic Sway and Under Pressure are my recommendations for PvP. Dynamic Sway got that buff a couple seasons ago, and that perk is actually a lot better now than it used to be. Slide Shot isn't bad either. In the second column, you've got Unrelenting, Swashbuckler, Vorpal Weapon, Elemental Capacitor, Tap the Trigger, and Eye of the Storm. This is a really nice pool. Swash is great. Unrelenting is catching some traction in PvP these days too. Some people are starting to really like Unrelenting for that health regeneration. Vorpal's great. Tap the Trigger's great. Eye of the Storm is great. Elemental Capacitor can be excellent depending on your subclass. I mean, I really feel like Vorpal is the call here just because it gives this weapon a certain edge over the other alternatives, right? It's something that it can have that most of its other competitors can't have. So that's kind of why I like Vorpal on it. But seriously, these perks are exceptional. Take any of them for a spin. You may check your vault also as a heads up for the curated roll that was dropping last year because it's solid as well, and it includes perks that the weapon cannot roll with randomly. The curated roll has Zen Moment, which is obviously an exceptional perk on an auto rifle. It's got multi-kill clip and armor piercing rounds, so it's pretty nice too. You may check your vault, see if you landed that that set roll, that curated roll last year. You might have one of those. So other than having a pretty exceptional perk pool, the Werewolf has one more thing really going for it in my opinion, and that's how it looks. It looks absolutely incredible. The paint job on this weapon is breathtaking and really sells that Halloween-y vibe, and it takes shaders really, really well. Some really fun color combinations that you can come up with since that light blue Werewolf paint job doesn't go away. I'm a big fan of how this gun looks, but I was also a big fan of the Braytech Werewolf before it was reissued as the Werewolf with random rolls as well. You know, I played Destiny 2 way back in year 1, and the Warmind DLC breathed a whole lot of life back into the game when it was released, and I loved this game, the gun, the Braytech Werewolf. So I always liked the gun, so it also has that nostalgia to it. Overall, this weapon, it's really, really unique, and it's surprisingly solid as a choice in 6s. In a game mode where people play less cautious and more reckless, the Werewolf has the opportunity to really put in some work. I'd encourage you to take it for a spin if you get a solid roll, and see if it impresses you. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. If you enjoyed it, please feel free to leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel for more Destiny content. Thank you very, very much, those of you who watch my videos and support my channel, especially if you have opted in to become a member on the channel, if you're financially supporting me and my family and keeping that dream alive. Thank you so very much. You're a big reason of why I can do what I do, so I appreciate that. Alright, be warm and well fed, my friends, and I hope to catch you in the Crucible.
Enemy claims Zone C. 2 for 1. Triple down. Fought like a titan of the first pillar. Double down. Triple down. You captured Zone B. You have zone advantage. Double down. Triple down.